on this computer. The question is, if you could state your name, your program, an interesting fact about yourself, or one cool thing you did this summer. I would just ask that when you go, if you can pick somebody else that you see on the screen to go as well too, so it can kind of be a domino effect. So I'm probably gonna pick on somebody that I know's been in the program, so I can have the. And I see Hema. Hema, you mind going first?
Yeah. My name is Hema. I started off, my freshman year doing CJ, criminal justice. Found out it wasn't the right program for me, so I switched to medical interpreting. So far, I've felt comfortable, so I really enjoyed the program. Interesting fact about myself, or something fun I did this summer. Well, I didn't really do much this summer. I was just working. I'm a security guard at Mayfair. So that's been really interesting with everything that's going on, protests and everything. So I don't know, that took time of my summer. So, yep.
So kind of pick somebody else.
I see Eric.
You guys hear me? I'm kind of driving right now. I'm heading down to Chicago because my dad made me pick up some chairs. We're gonna do some party for this weekend, But I know it's not safe. Give me a second. You guys hear me though? Nope.
Yeah.
Yeah, Eric, go ahead. Yes, go ahead.
Okay, so my name is Eric. I know this is not safe. Don't do this. But I have to go somewhere real quick. And but my name is Eric Fuerte. I'm in criminal justice as well. I started not too long ago, like I say, the beginning of last year of 2019. I didn't know what I wanted at first. Then I came across criminal justice, and I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna take a shot at it. And so I did, and so far I'm really liking it. I'm really liking what I'm doing with my job and everything so far. So hopefully in the future it'll be better. And but yeah, what was it? One thing interesting about myself. One thing interesting about myself, I like to play sports. I like to be active sometimes, a lot, and just spend time with family and people that I really love with. And something I did in the summer, I spend time with family more, with the people that I'm close with a lot. We went to lakes and swim and play soccer. It was just I know the beginning of this year wasn't the best, but we could still have the best for the year. But yeah, that's pretty much. And someone I see I think I see Litzy. Is that Litzy right there? Or Natalia Cortez? I don't think they hear me.
Hi. My name is Natalia Cortez. This is gonna be my first year in WCTC. I just graduated from Waukesha North. The program I would like to join is the business marketing program. I want to start my own business. And an interesting fact about me, or what I did this summer, was a couple days ago I went to the lake with my family. It was really fun. There were a lot of waves in the lake, and yeah, we had a lot of fun. And then I see Stephanie.
Hi there, I'm Stephanie Wangler. I'm in the accounting program. And something interesting, I had a baby, so. Let's see, let's go with Christian.
Hello, everybody. My name is Christian. This is my first year at WCTC as well. I just graduated from Arrowhead, and the program I'm gonna be in is web development and like computer programming, stuff like that. I never even thought I'd end up doing like this in college, but I took a class senior year in high school that was like an intro to web development, and I kind of liked it, so I thought I'd give it a shot at WCTC. And an interesting fact about me is that I make music. I really love music, so I like write songs, I rap, I sing, I mix and master everything, and I've just been working on that mostly for the summer. So, oh yeah, and I gotta pick somebody. Let's go with Chi. Is Chi? Is that right? Okay.
Hi everyone. My name is Chivu. Just call me Chi, and I'm in interior design, and this is my first year at WCTC. I just graduated from UWM this summer, and then actually I got an internship, but it canceled because of COVID-19. So I just get back into school again, trying to enhance my skill, and hopefully in 2 years everything will be better. Nadia.
Hi, I'm Nadia. My program is graphic design. This is my second year at WCTC, and something interesting about me is that I surf, I guess. And one thing I did this summer was nothing because everything got canceled, so I couldn't really visit anybody because my family's over in Europe and all that, so there's nothing I could do. Let's see. Feel sorry for everybody because now I have to pick somebody. Stephanie Mulligan.
I did just go.
Yeah, I believe Stephanie went. If some,
Oh my gosh.
that's okay. If somebody wants to jump in, if that hasn't gone too, that's okay.
Sorry, I have birds. Crap.
I'll go.
Okay, awesome. Didn't know what to do.
Hi, my name is Rosie. I'm in a business management program. This is my first year at WTPT. And pretty much what I did for the summer was spend time with my kids, and I took some classes.
Okay, I'll jump in. Can you hear me? Okay. My name is Nikira, and I am in the dental assistant program. I just started.
Your sound's a little muted.
I can't hear you.
The sound disappeared.
Are you there?
Yep.
Okay.
We heard you in the beginning and then it kind of faded away.
Can you hear me now?
We can hear you, but it sounds very, very far.
Oh, okay. Well, I think I'm gonna turn my Bluetooth off.
Does somebody else want to go and then we can come back?
Okay, I'll go. Oh, okay, you go ahead.
Okay, so my name is Litzy. I'm in the surgical tech program. This is my second year. Yeah, this is my second year. I was originally gonna go for nursing, but my plans ended up changing and I ended up looking into the surgical tech program, and I realized that it's a program that actually fits me better. So this is my second year, and it's going pretty good so far. And something interesting about me, well, this summer I went to Puerto Rico with my boyfriend, so that was fun. And yeah, that was it.
Someone else?
All right, I'll go. My name is Aditi. I in the culinary management and the baking and pastry management programs. I'm joining for first year this year. Interesting fact about me, I just completed a year with Public Allies Milwaukee. That it's an AmeriCorps program. That AmeriCorps program like that teaches a lot of leadership skills, and we get placed with different nonprofits around the city. For example, myself, I worked with another ally at the Aurora Community Clinic in Walker's Point. And that was a lot of fun. I learned a whole lot. And so that was basically what I was doing the entire summer as well. Just doing work for the clinic as well as working with Public Allies. And that my term finished actually last week, Friday. So yeah, it was fascinating. Yeah, and that's it.
Next.
I'll go. Hi, I'm Trisilla. I'm in a business management program. What I did this summer, I worked and I spend time with my kids. And I also have like a bunny, if that's like weird, a pet bunny. Okay, you guys. Okay, I'm gonna try this again. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay. My name is Nakira. I am currently in the dental assistant program. I just completed a class last summer, but I guess that was the beginning to get into the program. And something fun over the summer I did is I started my candle making business, and I'm making homemade candles. So that took a lot of time.
Thank you. Next.
I can go. My name is Nico. I'm in the auto tech program. This is my first year. And a cool thing I did this summer was I went on a road trip to Virginia.
Awesome. Okay, if you haven't gone, please jump in, and then we can get started with the PowerPoint.
Okay, I can go ahead. Can everyone hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, cool. My name is Kyla. Sorry, I'm at work. I had to put my customer on mute to talk. But I'm a cybersecurity major. So I was originally web development at MATC, and they didn't have the cybersecurity program that I wanted. So I switched over, and now I'm loving it. I took some summer classes and really, really enjoying it. I don't know. I didn't really do anything cool this summer. Everything was pretty much shut down. I actually was supposed to go on my honeymoon. I was married last November, but I guess something cool that I impulse bought on my birthday was a dirt bike. So I learned how to pretty much ride dirt bikes this summer, and I bought one for my little brother too. So that's it.
Okay. Thank you. Who hasn't gone?
I can go next.
Go ahead.
My name is Nika. I'm in the nail tech program. Something interesting about me, I guess I'm also getting my master's in education at Alverno right now. So I'm studying at 2 different schools currently.
And Mika, I don't know if you're able to do this, but for some reason, your name on your Zoom, it just says Zoom user.
Yeah, I had some connectivity issues. I was trying to join from my computer where it had my actual name, and it kept saying that I was waiting for somebody to let me in, and then I never got in, so I had to join from my phone.
Gotcha.
So I don't know exactly what happened, but I can see if I can change it.
Let me do this. Well, how do you spell your first name?
Neeka.
Neeka.
Yep.
Let's see if this works. There it goes. All right, everybody else see that? All right, cool. Who else is left?
I haven't gone either.
Okay, go ahead.
Me?
Yes.
Okay. My name is Cecilia Robley. I usually go by Cece though. I was homeschooled my senior year and I graduated a year early. And during that year, I attended classes at WCC for the gen ed courses for the business management program, which I'm now in. And something interesting, one cool thing that happened to me this summer was I got engaged. So,
congratulations.
thank you.
All right, who hasn't gone still? Go ahead.
So my name is Iridiana Arriaga, but I go by Edie for short. I'm in the medical interpreter program, and something interesting about me is I'm into art, and sometimes I like to work on contortion.
Thank you.
All right, my name's Evelyn Gressbach. I'm going to be going into the IT web and software development program. And then an interesting fact, I guess, is that I've been in 4-H since 2nd grade. And so this is my 10th year. And that's what I would have been doing over the summer is fair. But because that was canceled, we had a little like showmanship clinic for the Go project. And yeah.
My name is Muzi, and I'm from Eswatini, and I'll be doing the Human Services program.
Awesome. Thank you. Is there a hand up? There's a hand up on a call in. I think it's like a 608-957-2917 number. It doesn't show a name.
Can we have the name so I can write it down as well?
Is that someone there on the call in from a phone? Phone number 608-957-2917. Okay, who else hasn't gone? Is there someone? Jenny Palma, did Jenny Palma go?
Yes, I'm here. Sorry, I'm in an appointment. Well, my name is Jenny Palma, and my program is desktop technical support. And this is my 2nd year in MRC. And I think just that.
Okay. Anyone else that hasn't gone? Okay, I'm gonna go one more time. There's a number on here that says 1608-957-2917. If you're calling in, if you could introduce yourself. If we don't hear from you, I'm gonna remove you from the meeting. All right, they're gone. Okay, everyone. So thank you for introducing yourselves. I think we have about 20-ish students here and about 3 staff. If you know of anybody else that is trying to get connected to this, let us know. I can have Dur put the link back into the chat and you can share that with them. I know there was a lot of issues this morning trying to get into this. That is the one reason too that we're recording this, because if students were having issues getting in, we can share this orientation video with them and then they can watch it and then they will meet with one of us to go over more specifics. But again, if you know someone that's out there that's trying to get in and they can't, I'll ask Dur, see if she can put the link in the chat and then you guys can just send them that. So again, apologize for this morning. Not what we intended how to start off the day on a Friday morning. Also just want to take the time and thank you for taking the time to apply. Thank you for taking the time to RSVP, for being here. It is a privilege. It is an honor to be part of the program. Like I said, we only have 25 spots for student mentees and we only have 25 spots for student mentors. And over 50 plus students applied to be student mentors and over 50 plus applied to be student mentees. And part of that, when we do the selection and we're inviting people to join us today or yesterday to student mentors, Some of it, we make the decision on them, and some of it, the students make the decision on it. And you may ask, how do they do that? Communication is key. Communication has always been key. It's probably even more important now that we're all virtual. We do everything via email. Myself, Dur, Karina, you can shake your head yes or no. I know that two of us have work phones. I don't know if Karina has one.
No, but I have my work phone like through Skype here. I can connect with students.
Okay. So we're available via email, text, Zoom. And once we get situated and once we figure out who truly is going to stick it out and who's going to follow through with everything, we also create a Zoom a group chat. So then we also communicate through text as well too. That way, because I know some students prefer text via email or even phone calls. So we try to keep everyone informed and everyone up to par to what is happening. The one thing that I want to share with you today is probably more since 2013 of this program being established. The one thing that has been shared with me from vice president and the president of the college is part of the program, and we'll get into this when I go with the PowerPoint, there are staff mentors as well. And the president has made it mandatory that all of her vice presidents at the college participate in the program as staff mentors. You've all probably seen or heard or what's all going on in our society. And this year, WCTC has taken a huge initiative, a step forward in actually with diversity, equity, and inclusion. So we'll be having vice presidents also that will be part of this program. We'll have staff. I participate in it as a whole, overseeing it. Dur does too. Karina has been a staff mentor in the past. So we also include staff at the college so you can build those relationships with staff as well too, which come in play in the future for references for internships, jobs, scholarships. So if there are any burning questions before I get started with the PowerPoint.
I actually got something. This is super embarrassing, but I just looked at the email and realized this is for like the mentee, and I signed up to be a mentor. And I think, was it yesterday when y'all did the meeting for the mentors?
Yes, yesterday was the training for student mentors, and actually let me give you a little synopsis on that. So, if one thing in order for students to be student mentors, you have to have been a WCTC student already. You have to have at least a semester under your belt, and you have to have a 2.5 or higher GPA. So if you met the GPA, but you haven't been at the college already for a semester at least, and we were looking at possibly like 12 credits minimum, we typically, the student mentors are students that have already been at the college. Now, we also have student mentees, like for today, that are new students, but also current students that want to be part of the program, need support, or there are students sometimes that are afraid to take that or nervous to take that step to be a student mentor. So we're trying to help them grow with those leadership skills as well too.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Does that clarify anything?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like, since I didn't technically sign up to be a mentee, like, am I not able to do that then? Or
no, if you're here, that's the one thing I told the student mentors yesterday. One of the biggest things, the first thing is just showing up. You show up, a lot of things happen. You stay in communication, a lot of things happen. I will guarantee you, I hope this isn't the case, but every time we do the orientation for student mentors or we do orientation for student mentees, I have at least a few of them that just go MIA. Because what I'm going to share with you today, the PowerPoint, there is some work involved. There is some expectations from your behalf, also from the student mentors' behalf, but also from the staff mentors' behalf. And I'll be frank, I have not brought staff mentors back because at the end of the semester, we do a survey. And I give you guys a survey, I give the student mentors a survey, and I give the staff mentors a survey. And your survey is never shared with the student mentor or the staff mentor and vice versa. It's something that I look at, something that Dirk looks at, and Karina has been part of that in the past as too. But if there's a pattern of a staff mentor not fulfilling their requirements, why am I going to ask that staff mentor to come back? And the same goes for student mentors, and the same goes for student mentees, because I will say this too, the opportunity you have as student mentees, you may be a student mentee this semester, but if you do well, you could be a student mentor next semester. I've promoted students from student mentees to student mentors halfway through the academic year. And how does that happen is because sometimes mentors graduate, or sometimes students transfer and spots come open. And I'm a big believer of promoting within, because it's easier to promote someone who has a knowledge of the program already versus bringing someone in midway through the year. And I've done it before, and I feel bad because I feel like I'm putting that person, it's kind of like a sink swim opportunity for them. And a lot of times they sink because it's just so overwhelming. So does that clarify any questions or any concerns on that?
Yeah, definitely. Thank you.
Anybody else have? Go ahead. Say that one more time.
Can I add something?
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say it on that same token too. You have removed students mentors that they have not been doing the same way, or student mentees out of student mentors, because there was some issues. So the accountability, it was gonna come from any angle, because at the end of the day, we want you guys to really develop into leaders, good leaders, and we really want you to bring the best potential out of you through this program.
So, and I'll say this, and thank you for saying that, because, and I'll speak for Karina, I'll speak for myself, and is that we all have a heavy heart. We all want y'all to be successful, but also there's, I call it kind of 1, 2, 3 strikes. When is enough is enough. And that is for student mentees, student mentors, staff mentors. And what I mean by that is, there's so many moving pieces. This piece as a student mentor program is a small puzzle of what we all do out of the Multicultural Resource Center. And I'll show you a little video in a minute that I'm going to show you. So this is just a small puzzle. For me, like Karina's full responsibility, one of her major responsibility is getting students like yourself to come to WCTC. So she's out in the community, she's visiting schools, she's meeting with families when they come to campus. So that is like her primary job. And on top of that, she's a staff mentor for the program. She's helped out with other stuff in the MRC. Dur, same thing. She helps myself in the office. She's working with students that are, first, second, third attempts in classes. She's on committees. Sometimes, I joke about this, sometimes committees she don't even know she signed up for. Because you'll find out at WCTC as staff, all of a sudden you'll get put on committees and you're like, when did I sign up for that? So we all have things that we're doing. Myself, I also do Title IX investigations. I used to do student conduct that just recently got removed, but I do all the diversity programming too at the campus. So this is something small but very passionate, because we want you, the main goal for us is that we want you to be successful. And I'll say this too, when I mean success, it may be with us. And if you are here for a semester or two, and in conversations with myself or conversations with Karina or Dur, and we find out that WCTC is not the right fit for you, how do we get you to be and go where you need to be successful? So we've helped students transfer to other institutions as well, because we realize what it is that they're trying to accomplish, and their goal is we don't offer it, we don't have it. And I've had students come to WCTC who want to do the first 2 years, and then they say they're going to transfer to another institution. Well, then I tell them, you know what? You need to go there now, because this program doesn't transfer there, so you're wasting time. So those are things that we do case management as well with students. Hema brought it up earlier today too, and this is one thing too that I will put out there too. She started off with one program. It's harder now that we're virtual, because when we're in the office, we get to know you. We get to know your nonverbals, if you're having a bad day, if you're having a good day. And we're not naive to that. So if we see that, we'll come out to you and we'll say, hey, how's it going? How can we help today? And that's kind of where Hema was a little bit. You could tell that she was getting a little discouraged. And just in conversations with her, she started having second thoughts about being in the criminal justice program. So there is an assessment that WCTC offers for free that you can go in and take, and it asks you all the interest. And then based on what you answered, it tells you what programs based on your interest that you align best with. And that's how she switched her program, because what came back, obviously that program that she was in wasn't even in her top 5. I don't even think top 10. So now she switched, and she seems to enjoy it and be more happy with what she's doing now. Because sometimes we come in with a mindset or someone told us to do something. So those are things that we try to help with as well. Any questions other than that? So I'm going to get started, and I am going to share the PowerPoint. Let's see here. Can you all see my screen? Yes. So, again, bear with me again, because like I said, I hope and pray that nothing happens while we're doing this orientation and we make it through it today. But I'm going to try to get through this, and along the lines, if there are questions, please use the chat. Type in your questions there. I'll ask Dur or Karina to shout them out to me, because obviously when I am sharing my screen and I'm going over the PowerPoint, I just see faces. I don't see the chat pop up. So here we go. And if I can get moving here. So as of right now, this is the staff that is housed out of the Multicultural Resource Center. You have our current hours up there. We are in the office Monday through Thursday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. in person. Obviously, like I mentioned before, I am there Monday, Tuesday, Dur's there Wednesday, Thursday. Alejandra and Leslie are 2 of our student workers. Alejandra is there on Tuesdays from 9 to 5, and then Leslie is there Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays from 9 to 1:30. So these are the folks out of the MRC, the Multicultural Resource Center, which is located in the College Center. Room number is C125. If we are not in the office, like I said, and this goes for the 3 of us, Dur, myself, and Karina, we all have Zoom capabilities that you can also schedule meetings with us to chat with us over via Zoom. This is typically what orientation looks like before COVID-19.
It will be so fun right now.
Yeah, we are on campus. We are having fun. We are talking. We're going through stuff. We have folks come in, speakers. You can see over here, if I can, this was a Oreo cookie kind of icebreaker. You can't use your hands, but you got to get the Oreo to your mouth. It started on your forehead. Over here, they're building team building cups. There's a little project here. We even went off campus to Buffalo Wild Wings, and then we came back. So these are things that we try to do to engage students, and for them not only to get to know us as staff, but also for them to get to know other students on campus. It's sad that right now we can't do that, and it probably won't happen this semester, but if everything goes well, the goal is to get back to this come spring. So we are working endlessly in regards to how can we still bring this piece to the mentoring program throughout this semester virtually. How do we still engage students on a virtual platform? So here is the agenda for today. I am going to try to go through this very quick because we did start a little later. So did the video get skipped there? Did I skip the video?
Oh, it should be there. Where is the video?
Give me 1 second. This is what I'm talking about technology, because the PowerPoint that I used yesterday, I couldn't even access it this. No, it's not here. Let's see here. Give me a second. For some reason, it's hidden. Here we go.
Down. It should be there.
Can you see it now? Can you still see my screen?
Yes.
Give me a second here. I gotta share sound. Here we go. So here's a little 2-minute video clip that we put together for the MRC. As I mentioned, the mentoring program is just a small piece of puzzle. This is actually a little synopsis of everything that we do in the MRC. You guys see it? Hear it?
Yes.
Uh-oh. Did it just stop for you guys too?
Yes.
Yes, Ro.
What is going on? So that was a little video of the MRC as a whole and everything that we do throughout the academic year. So as I mentioned, the Multicultural Student Mentoring Program is just a small piece of the puzzle. Our goal with the mentoring program is to transform students into exceptional leaders empowered to create solutions for a positive community. The Multicultural Resource Student Mentor Program is a student program which is provides leadership activities and one-on-one support to students and is dedicated to create an environment for growth and development of the whole college, empowering students to be successful leaders in their community. So that is our mission and vision just for this mentoring program. Who do we serve? As I mentioned before, the program was established back in 2013, and we focus on students of color, first-generation students, LGBT students, undocumented students, low-income students. So these are the population of students that we try to support in the program. We've even, I'll say, those are the 5 areas, but if you've been in the MRC, we try to support everyone and anyone that we can that needs the support. What we offer: academic support, access to peer mentors, social events, monthly leadership workshops, community engagements. The mentoring program was recognized back in 2017 as an outstanding mentoring program out of the state of Wisconsin. This is a picture here of students that were previously in the program. Some students are still with us because they just started then. But you can see, and this is also our old location. The picture was taken in our old office. But that plaque right there, when we come back on the campus and you come to visit us, you'll see that plaque is up actually in the MRC. We're very proud of that. They selected only one program that year, and every year they select one program, and we were nominated that year. The data for the program has served over 300 students, approximately 100 faculty and staff have volunteered. The average GPA of students that are in the program is a 3.0. That's combined student mentors and student mentees. Our overall retention rate is 85%. The school itself is about 77%. So the students that are in the program tend to have higher scores when it comes to retention just because of the connections they've made with staff, with other students. We are the 4th largest minority technical college in the state of Wisconsin. There are 16. We rank number 4. I think the 3 before us is MATC, Madison, and Gateway, which is in Kenosha, Racine. This is some data on the program from last academic year. You'll see in the fall, our student mentors averaged a 2.99. Our student mentees averaged a 2.87, and our scholars, which I'll talk about a little bit more, averaged a 2.87 as well. In the spring, student mentors averaged a 3.27, excuse me, a 2.98 for mentees, and a 2.83 for the scholars. And this is the pie chart that's broken down. Obviously, keep in mind, the one data that we do not track at the institution, and this is more via like surveying our students, is LGBT. If you see an application that's not on there, and I want to say first generation was not on there, but it may be on there now. But you can see overall, out of 100% of students that we served, 36% were Hispanic, 26% were Black, 24 Asian, 1.5 LGBT, 7.5 first generation, and 5% mixed race. And one of the student mentors asked a great question yesterday: could you be double counted? Yes, for instance, if you are Hispanic and LGBT, we counted you in both areas. Percentage-wise, if that breaks it down to actual numbers, in the program last year with student mentors, student mentees, and student scholars, overall it was 72 Hispanic students in the program, 52 Black, 48 Asian, 3 LGBT, 15 first generation, and 10 that were mixed race. Madison Showcase, again, this is an opportunity too that we were able to showcase the great things that we've done in the mentoring program. I believe this was 2 years ago now. Every year, out of the 16 technical college, one program or one thing that the college is doing great is invited to Madison, the capital of Madison, and actually for the day and showcases what they are doing. And 2 years ago, we were invited. We were selected. The multicultural student mentoring program was selected, and we went up there. And these are 4 students of mine that participated in the mentoring program in the past. And we're just there answering questions and talking about the mentoring program, which is pretty cool. I was there, but I don't think I even spoke. The students did all the talking because they're sharing their experiences and how it has impacted them. And a lot of these students started off as student mentees and then worked their ways up to student mentors. We also like to recognize students when they achieve great things. Like, for instance, these are all students last year that received National Technical Honor Society recognition. These are students that posted a 3.0 GPA or above. So we try to acknowledge those students and give them kudos as well. One of the things that I would tell you is the sad part about this is there are more students that should have been on this list, but aren't. And the reason being is because you would think if you got a 3.0, you should automatically be recognized by NTHS. Well, there's an application process and there's an application fee. The application fee is $50. A lot of times students fill out the application, and what happens then is they can't afford to pay the application fee. So they don't move forward and they just let it go. So I've told students all the time, and I will tell you guys this as well, if you receive these accomplishments and you don't have the fee to pay, and that's the reason why you're not going through with it, come talk to us. I have sponsored students in the past. I've also gotten the application fee waived as well. That shouldn't be a reason that's holding you back. And there's a reception where you actually invite family to come. It's a pretty big deal. I'm assuming this semester it's probably going to be virtual, but never let that the fee of the $50 hinder you from being recognized. So here are some of the students. Here's another slide here. And then there's PTK. PTK are students that receive the 3.5 GPA or higher. Again, same thing. There should be more students on here, but again, there's an application fee that some students do not go through because they don't have the funding to cover that fee. If that is the case with this as well, same as I mentioned before, please let us know because we will find a way to make sure that you're taken care of. And then we have graduates. Every year we try to highlight everyone that's graduated from the program or even the Multicultural Resource Center. These are students that were in the program this past academic year. Both Alma and Kelly were student mentors, have recently graduated, and we try to highlight what their plans are moving on. Sometimes it's they go into the workforce, sometimes they're transferring to other institutions. So we try to highlight that as well. Madison and Mario were also student mentors. Here you have Maritza and Miranda as well. And Mario got in here twice, I don't know how. And you have Tiffany here as well too, who was a student mentor. Christina. And then critical life skills. These are critical life skills that we focus on in this program. If you are a current student at WCTC, you probably heard about these already. If not, you are probably going to never stop hearing about this once you start school. This is something that the school implements in all of their coursework. But these are the four that we focus on in this program. Is citizenship skills. Students will participate and become a part of the Waukesha Technical College diverse community, which is a given. That's kind of the focus of this mentoring program, the Multicultural Resource Center. Communication skills. Students will become effective problem solvers and communicate in personal, academic, and professional interactions with others. This is going to happen one way or another with you and your student mentor, you and your staff mentor, with us. One thing I tell students, don't let this scare you away. As I mentioned to the student mentors yesterday, I'm an introvert. When I'm at home, I like to be solo. Like, I enjoy being with my family. But when I go to work, I have to change hats. I have to put that extrovert hat on because that's part of my job. If I didn't do that, part of my job, I wouldn't be able to accomplish part of my job. So we will never put you in situations that are going to make you fearful or I could say anxiety or panic attack, but we will help you. We will, I will say that in the next slide too, there's a student mentor. I still remember to the day when she came into our office, she did not speak. Now you can ask Karina and Dirt, and she's one of my student workers, Alejandra, you can't get her to be quiet. But she's grown. She's grown. She's found herself. She's found her voice. And that's what we want to see from you guys as well. Relationship skills. Students develop effective personal and academic professional relationships and interpersonal skills. That's going to happen with other students. That's going to happen with us. That's going to happen with your staff mentors. And then self-management skills. Students develop continuous life skills that foster personal, academic, and professional improvement that transition into the real world. And that's the ultimate goal, is we want to get you, when you leave, that you feel good, and that you came in and you did what you had to do and you accomplished your goals, and you've grown over the years. Let's see here. So here is what a group looks like when I pair you guys. The top person here is our provost. She is second in charge at the college. Dr. Ann Cross Hansen. Alejandra is our student mentor. And then here, Hema is a student mentee. So this is what a group looks like once we get everybody paired up and assigned to each other. The question yesterday came up from student mentors is, when do we find out who we're paired with? And I said, it's gonna give us a week or so, because obviously we met with the student mentors yesterday. We are having the training today with you guys today, and we still also have to do training with staff mentors as well. And everyone here, I mentioned this earlier, I hope after today, everybody's still with us and we move forward, and we just have to fill the spots that are open. Same thing with student mentors yesterday, but for, you know, let's say we finish training today and 2 of you email me and say, you know, this is not what I thought it to be. So now we got to look and open it up to other student mentees and get them caught up to speed. So as soon as we get those numbers finalized, we'll start pairing people. Typically how we pair folks, people have asked this as well. We try to do via program, and if not program, we also try to do by personalities. I know personality is going to be a little harder because of we're not on campus. All those fun activities that we're doing, sometimes you get to see folks that you kind of have a common interest in. So one of the things that we talked about yesterday is, once we figure out what official student mentors are going to stick it out and what official student mentees are going to move forward as well, we're planning to have a check-in where we would bring the student mentors and the student mentees together via Zoom, and it would just be more of a relaxed kind of get to know each other and see how we can pair people up. Any questions with this? Okay, are there any questions in the chat? Are we good? Okay. What is the role of a staff mentor?
The only thing in the chat is Priscilla said that it is really a great program. I had to agree with her.
Thank you. A staff mentor. A staff mentor is a person that is a staff at the college. It can be one of us. It can be a president. It can be someone in IT. It can be someone in recruitment, financial aid. It is a WCTC staff. I'll say this too, and you get these emails, and we get them as staff as well too, is I had some students ask me when we sent this out if this was a legitimate program or was this a scam, because we were getting so many emails about jobs in our email that are scams. So same thing with staff. Like, a staff is a staff person. They have a staff ID. So these folks are going to be people that work for the college. It is about, for them, it's more about making students feel cared about and supported. Strong evidence suggests involves challenging students to make them work hard too. So, and that's what I expect from our staff mentors. I want them to make you feel like you mean, you're cared about, you matter, but also to challenge you. Sometimes when you may see a club or student club that you're like, I'm thinking about going for that board position, but I'm not sure, I don't have confidence, or I'm thinking about going to that conference, but I'm nervous. So how do these staff mentors help push you and help you grow? If a student feels a faculty member cares about them as a person, encourages their goals and dreams, and challenges them academically, it has a positive lifelong impact. So this is what I am looking for from staff mentors, is for them to support you, but also help you grow and push you sometimes when we all need that push. And we all still need that. Even as today, I'll say as a 40-year-old person, there's still times where too, I still need a little nudge. So that is a role of a staff mentor. Student mentor. Student mentors lead new students and act as a valuable source of information on the college life. Although you should already possess some qualities of a leader, your leadership skills can improve by becoming a student mentor. Leadership, time management, and hosts of skills can be enhanced by becoming a student mentor. So this is what I'm looking for student mentors. And this is why I said too, student mentors typically have a semester under their belt. They have to be in academic good standings, also with the college. But this person, the student mentor, is the individual that has the most responsibility of this pairing. They are the ones that I'm looking for to keep open communication with us as myself and DUR and staff mentors. They're the ones that should be making sure everything is going well with their student mentees, also creating that conversation with their staff mentor. They receive a $1,000 scholarship for the academic year, and there's a reason for that, is because there's a little more responsibility put on them as student mentors now. I think there's going to be a typo in the next one, and we'll find out if it is. I don't see it here. So student mentees, this is where you guys fall into place. Student engagement is an essential to student success and student outcomes, and mentoring program are one example, an initiative that can create a student-focused culture. So this is why we create this program, is to get students connected, to feel part of the culture, feel part of the school, feel like they belong. One thing that I've heard from students, you can say new students that come from high school, is it helps if they don't have something like this, they feel lost because there's so many connections, what they say when they're in high school. Or if I have students that are returning, or students that are WCTC said, I wish I would have had this when I first started, or I wish I would have had this at my other school, because they feel like there's someone there that they can talk to, there's support there. So that is the whole purpose of this program as well. And student mentees, actually right here is a typo. It says student mentor. It should say student mentee. Mentee will receive a $500 scholarship at the end of the academic year. So there's $250 at the end of the fall semester, and then $250 at the spring semester. We give those scholarships at the end of the semester, because if I were to give that in the beginning, I would have students that would take the scholarship and we would never see them again. So we give it at the end to make sure they met the requirements of the program, but also at the end of the year, we do a survey. And I will tell you this, and I'm gonna just be frank, and every year we have about 5 students that do not get the scholarship. And that's been a little bit of both, student mentors and student mentees, because they didn't fulfill their requirements. Any questions with this at all? You guys as student mentees? Student scholar. So the program can sustain about 50 students. We've kind of at times pushed it to 60 if we find additional funding. And sometimes we've had to go down to 40, all depending on funding. But that being said, over 100 people applied to be student mentors and mentees. So what happens with those students that are not going to be in the program? Obviously, they applied because they still want support. They still want to be connected. So one of the things that we started a few years back was a student scholar program. Those students work specifically with DIRT. The one thing with that is, with the other two, student mentor and student mentee, you have to have a minimum of 6 credits to be a student mentor or a student mentee. And let me just clarify that a little bit, is we are going into this whole new 8-week terms, where there's a first 8-week term and there's a second 8-week term. If you take a 3-credit course in the first 8-week terms, and you take 1 course of 3 credits in the second 8-week terms, that equals 6 credits. So you're fine. Or if you take 6 credits in the first 8-week term and nothing in the second 8 weeks, you still are okay, because you're at 6 credits minimum. So look at it the big picture. You have to be in 6 credits minimum for that entire 2 8-week, the first 8 weeks and the second 8 weeks. As long as it equates to 6 credits minimum, you are fine. If you fall below the 6 credits, that's where you won't be able to participate as student mentee or student mentor. And again, that's where it comes back to the student scholar. So sometimes student scholars have less than 6 credits. They can't commit the time to the program, or we just don't have any more space in the mentoring program for student mentors and student mentees. So those students are connected with DIR, and she works with them. She meets with them monthly, so they can still also receive support. Any questions on that? I hope I didn't confuse anybody. Any clarification at all? So a successful partnership is basically, having helpful advice, building a solid network, memories, You have friendships that come out of this as well too. So, and this is just not between you and the student mentor. This is also between yourself and the staff mentor as well. I will tell you this, like anything else, unfortunately, when things are going great, we hardly ever hear those things. But when they're not going great, I'm getting a knock on my door. Dur's getting a knock on her door. Karina's getting a knock on her door. It's unfortunate that we hear the bad things, but we don't hear the great things. So I ask that if you are, after today and moving forward, we ask that you fully commit yourself and you do the best that you can, because it's going to reflect. So responsibilities for yourself and for student mentors. And I say this because when we first started this program, we didn't follow up a lot with student mentors. We just followed up mainly with student mentees. And what we found out was that student mentors started to struggle as well, because they felt like they had such a huge responsibility to make sure their student mentees were doing well, that they started to slip. So these are things that you as student mentees will do along with your student mentors. Everybody will get a hard copy book or electronic book or an audio book. We are trying to offer 3 different options, and I'll send everybody a survey asking what they prefer. But the book that we selected for this upcoming academic year that we are going to read in this program is The New Jim Crow. I already have the electronic copy. We are working on the audio copy, and then I'll order hard copies depending if students prefer the hard copy. The goal with that is that students will read a chapter, and every 2 weeks, you just post in Canvas your takeaways, your little discussion from that chapter. You will have this book, your student mentor will have this book, and your staff mentor will have this book. So everybody will be reading the book. Myself, Dur, Karina, will all be reading the book as well too. And I will say this, your post in Canvas, your discussion post, they open up on a Sunday, and then 2 weeks from that on a Sunday, they close. And that's how we monitor who has been doing the postings. And I will be frank with you, this is one of the eliminators that students have not received their scholarship because they didn't do their postings. There are 7 chapters in this book. We usually in the past done weekly, but we're doing bi-weekly postings now. You have a bi-weekly meetings that you have to do with your student mentors. So you and your student mentor that you're signed with will meet twice a month for an hour. And that can be just checking in. There's, talking about the book. There's an assignment. There's also an activity that I'm going to give you that I'll go over in a minute. There are events that we host out of the MRC that you guys can attend as students. So these are things that you guys do with your student mentors to build those relationships. Meet with your assigned staff mentor. So you and your student mentor should be meeting with your assigned staff mentor once a month to check in with them. Maintain a minimum of 2.5 cumulative GPA or higher. Meet with your academic advisor to get a program plan to make sure that you're on the right track. And monthly check-ins, I will be doing those specifically with, those are the monthly workshops. I will give you those dates and tell you when those would occur. And then you would meet with myself or Dur in regards to your grades, because there's a progress report that we give you that you have to give to your instructors, because we also want to check in on how you're doing with your grades. Questions on this? Are we good with questions? Nothing there?
Chivu said, when you said bi-weekly, does that mean twice a week or once every 2 weeks for postings?
Every 2 weeks. So you have 2 weeks to read a chapter and then post. And then we will put those dates in the Canvas so you'll know when that posting is due by.
And in regards to Canvas, the Canvas for the multicultural resource for the mentoring program has already been created. So after orientation, anyone who decided that they want to be a student mentee, I will basically enroll these students into this course, and then you will have access to this course, which will give you access to the reading and the materials that are discussed in today's orientation. All the forms and the orientation PowerPoint and the video that is being shared today in orientation will also be on the portal on Canvas for you to review and take a look at as well.
Yeah, so know that it's a Canvas just like you would have your classes. We would put you in there. You'd get an invite, and then you would see everybody else that's in there as well too. Your fellow student mentees, your fellow student mentors, and then they will have due dates on there too to kind of let you know when those dates are. And we have even talked about that we wouldn't start these readings, I think, more towards the end of the month, just because we got to get everybody situated, get the books, get everybody acclimated with pairing up with who's with who. So this wouldn't start as effective today. Today, we're just doing the training, getting you guys informed, and starting to create that list of who's going to, commit and who's going to move forward. Responsibility for scholars. Again, like I mentioned, you meet with DER once a month. You got to maintain a 2.0 GPA or higher. Again, you got to meet with your academic advisor, and she's going to meet with you to go over your grades as well. And I'll say this, I've had students who have been student mentors or student mentees a semester or two, and then become scholars because things have changed. Maybe they're only taking one class now. Maybe they're working full-time plus hours, and they can't do and meet the expectations of a student mentor or student mentee, so that they still want to be connected. They'll become scholars, and vice versa. I've had DERs sent me scholars that now, hey, I got time. I want to be a student mentor, student mentee. So then sometimes you'll see it kind of go back and forth, but we try to keep, we know the difference, but sometimes the college is a little confused on what is what. So we have to at least show it and document it and say, okay, this is what a student mentor is, this is what a student mentee and what a student scholar is. Time commitment. This is kind of the breakdown. Again, you meet with your student mentor. Again, I put here 2 to 4 hours because some of you will say, hey, let's meet weekly. That equals 4 hours. If you meet bi-weekly, that equals 2 hours. There's community service, MRC events. So some of these things are what we've done in the past. Obviously, some of these things are going to be on hold because of all being virtual. But then you got your bi-weekly, right here, we got to change this because we used to be weekly, but bi-weekly readings and video discussions. We also get you support if you need help with the resume, the assessment that we talked about earlier with HEMA. If you needed to take that, say you're in a program, you're like, I don't know if this is for me. Your monthly staff meetings, meeting with Rolando Durr, and then the monthly workshops. These are the dates that we selected for the monthly workshops right now. They're all Fridays from 1 to 2. Reason being is because we've done this every single year for the last 7 years. And when I say this, we've pulled everyone's schedule in the program and we put it in this massive Excel. And every time Friday is the time that we can get majority of folks to show up because they don't have class. Some do, a lot of people have more free time. So we do Fridays from 1 to 2. I always tell students, the exception to that is if you do have class, obviously I don't want you to skip class to come to this. And some people say they work. That is why we give you these dates in advance to see if you can make some arrangements of work. But if you can't, I don't want you to get fired. Just let us know. And we're going to try to record those meetings as well. It all depends because we also do bring guest speakers in for those. And sometimes some guest speakers don't want to be recorded. So it all depends on what we do for those dates as well. I'm going to stop this for a second here and then go to some forms that I want to show you. Let's see here. First one I want to show you is this one here, share screen. So this gives you a little, let's go and move it over here. Try this again. Unfortunately, the WCTC had a plan for a while now to go to 8-week terms, and then COVID hit in March. So now we have 2 stressors. We have 8 weeks and we have COVID. Students were already freaking out about the 8 weeks. some staff as well too, because we were trying to get a comprehension of what is this going to look like, how is this going to work, how are we going to do programming. And then in March 18th, the exact date is when the school said, no one comes to campus. Like, you're all going virtual. So we try to make this as simple as possible. And I'll send you all these forms. You guys will get all these forms via email, but just give you a little cheat sheet, like when classes start, what is term 1, what is term 2, what are your holidays. For instance, here, term 1, the first 8 weeks, August 17th through September 25th, last day to drop a class is October 11th. Term 2, begin October 19th through the November 30th, last day to drop a class is December 13th. These are your breaks in between. You'll have a break on September 7th for Labor Day, and then the fall break here. So we try to give you these cheat sheets. We also try to keep you informed, everyone that's in the program, because sometimes this can be confusing. So this is a little graph that we put together, because I will tell you, everything that we looked at during the academic year, there were so many things coming out that were so confusing. So we had students create that, because one of my student workers did it, and I said, can you put something together that makes sense to you as a student? Here's the next thing I want to share with you. I'm going to share my screen again here. You may be feeling overwhelmed, confused. What is it that you have to do? We created this monthly checkoff list. This is kind of your guide of what you should be completing on a monthly basis for the program. Everything here, there's nothing new. This is everything we've gone over. Student mentor meeting bi-weekly via Zoom. Student mentor mentee should attend monthly workshops via Zoom. Student mentor group should meet with their assigned staff mentor once a month minimum. Some do more. That's up to you, up to your staff mentor and the availability, but we say once a month minimum. Again, all via Zoom. Student mentor required to post bi-weekly for the book discussion that we chose on Canvas. Student mentor mentee should attend workshops, workshop Friday, September 4th, 1 to 2 via Zoom. And then student mentor should meet with Rolando Durr to go over grades. And then you have your progress reports, and then your last day to drop a class. So it's not a lot, but we try to create something that was going to give you a guide as a student, so you can kind of keep tabs of what you have to do and what you're missing. Here you have September, October, November, and December that we put together for you. So again, all these forms, I will be sending them out to everybody that's here today. Some of these are for your resource, and then some of them you will have to fill out and then send back to us. Here's another form that I'm going to share with you. This is an activity that I am asking you as student mentees and student mentors that I asked yesterday, that you guys can do this together. Let me ask you a quick question. As I put here, there's 5 to 7 hours committed to the program a month. Anybody know how many hours there is in a month? Anybody want to guess?
On average, or it depends on the number of days?
On an average.
$960?
What was that again?
960. If there's 24 hours for 30 days on average.
No, so thank you for participating, because it got so quiet. It's 730 hours average. So when you think of 730 hours for the month, we're only asking a commitment from you and student mentors and those in the program for about 5 to 7 hours out of those 730. So it's not a lot. I think sometimes students freak out. Like they see 5 to 7 hours and they're like, whoa. But when you look at it, the big picture, 730, and there's really only 5 to 7 hours that we're asking from you. It's not a lot, but here is an assignment that this is an old school assignment. I used this when I was at Whitewater, and I think in talking with Durr last semester, I said, you know what, I need to bring that back, because every group, every semester, every year, the one thing that comes up every time as an issue for students is time management. It never fails. It's that one. And the other thing that we talk about too in this program, because students have asked me to do some discussions on this, is just financial literacy. We talk about credit scores, how to pull your credit report, what is a credit score, how to get loans. So we talk about that stuff too, because I try to ask students, what is it so I call it things that we don't talk about in the classroom, or that we don't learn in the classroom, that we try to also talk about in these workshops. So here's an assignment. Your student mentors got this yesterday. Basically, you put your name on here, but basically simple questions. How many hours do you sleep per night? So if this is me, I would put here, I average about 6 hours I sleep a night. So 6 hours times 5. And then on the weekends, it's probably the same. So 6 times 2 is 12. So I would add the total of this, and it would give me the total hours that I sleep per the week. Same thing, how many hours do you work? How many hours do you spend eating, exercising, socializing, hobbies, TV, video games, cleaning, etc. You would add all of this up, and then you come down here, how many credits are you enrolled for the semester? Typically, each class is about an hour. How many hours per week are you in class? How many hours are you studying? How many hours will you be spending getting to and from class? Some of you travel, some of you commute further than others. Once you have these numbers, you bring them down here, and it gives you the grand total of hours that you are doing all of these things here. There are 168 hours in 1 week. So if I did all of this up here, and this grand total over here is 180, and there's only 168 hours in the week, we got some problems, right? I'm doing more than how many hours there are in a week. So, and believe it or not, some of you are gonna find out that that's the case. Some of you will find out you have time wasters watching too much Netflix, which I found out last semester, believe it or not, students that I didn't even think play video games. I'm like, whoa, I didn't know that. That was like a new thing to me. Like, I can kind of sometimes guess, okay, that person plays video game. Nah, not that person. I was totally wrong. Exercising, eating, sleeping, like it. Then we start looking at what things that may need to change. What can you change? And there's going to probably be some things that you can't change. But then you go down here. How do you adjust what you need to make, if any? Have you practiced good time management? Then we also give you this grid. This is actually the grid that we use at WCTC. So I typically tell students, go in here. The 2 first things that I will tell you to put in here is if you have class, highlight those in a certain color of a highlighter. When you have your classes, if you work, put that in here as well. But use different colors for work, for classes, and then put these in there. You have this stuff, meals, exercising, and then see how beautiful this rainbow comes out to be. So that is a grid there for WCTC that we use. And then it just goes on here to talk about short-term goal. Like what changes can you make, or what do you want to make? Goal 2, long-term, short-term, another long-term goal. So we just give this is not we're not going to grade you on this, but we would like to see everybody do it and kind of share and pair later, and I'll give a date for that. But then here's a piece too that students do not typically know how or what to do. Dur, myself, Karina, we've met with students, and the student will say, I'm getting an A in the class. And all of a sudden progress report comes and they're getting like C-. Or a student says, I need to get to a 2.6 GPA this semester. What do I need to get? This is the new grade scale for WCTC. If you're new to WCTC, or if you are returning, WCTC had one of the hardest grading scales out of all colleges in the state of Wisconsin. They just changed it. Now it's in par with all grade scales from majority schools in the state of Wisconsin. A 3.0 is a B. I think before a 3.0 may have been like a B-. So now the grading scale is at par with other institutions. But the way this works, if you're at home and you're just like, okay, I think I have a B in this class or C in that class, you can put your course name here, what grade you're getting. If you're getting a B, how many credits is that class? Is it 3 credits? So if you got a B, 3 credits, the point value for that B is 3 points. So 3 times 3 is 9 points, right? And then you just go on for the rest. You add all of these honor points, divided by the number of credits you're taking for the semester, and it will give you your estimated GPA for that semester. So you don't have to wait till the end of the semester to figure that out. Again, I don't mean to scare you away with this. This is stuff that we can go over to as a group when we meet monthly. This is a thing that you can work with your student mentors as well. And it just has some following questions here as well. So this I will send to you all as well to kind of have that in your tools. Any questions with this? No? Am I scaring you guys? I don't know if that's a yes or a no. Okay, let me go back to the PowerPoint and we can get through this. Almost done here. So we just went over that. Here's Code of Ethics. This is what my expectations are from us as staff, U.S. student mentees, and of student mentors. Commitment, fulfill your obligations to the program. Competence, know what you're talking about. Integrity, be honest with students, yourself, and the program. Respect, value, and support the difference of others. Responsibility to self, adhere to the program policies. And professional conduct, ask for help when you need it. Responsibility to student, maintain appropriate confidentiality, do what you say you're going to do. Check your personal bias towards involvement opportunities at WCTC. How has being involved had a profound effect on your time here? What I mean by that, sometimes I like to use the campus cupboard, the cafeteria. In my 9 years, we've had different vendors. Some vendors have been better than others. And when I say biases, I may ask Dur, hey, Dur, I'm going to go get a burger at the cafeteria. And she'll be like, that's nasty. They can't cook for the life of them. So it may be nasty to her, but I may go buy that burger, and it's the best burger I ever had. So I always say, too, check your biases, because one thing that you may not like or dislike, the other person may. And that's why we're different. Represent MSMP and WCTC as a member of the program. You will shape student impressions of WCTC, the Multicultural Resource Center, this program, and balance the line of friendship, mentor, and mentee. What I mean by this is myself, Dura, and Karina were all college students at one time. We understand that sometimes friendships evolve to a little something more. If that ever happens, and it happens with you and your student mentor, please let me know, because just to keep that professionalism in the program, I would just move the two of you around into different groups. And here are conferences and leadership opportunities that we've taken students to over the past 8-9 years. Unfortunately, obviously, with things that happen, the college has put a freeze on travel for all students and staff until January 1st, and they will revisit then. But the top left corner is a conference that we go to every year, annually in Chicago. The top right one, the National Conference of Race and Equity, is a conference that we went to 2 years ago in Portland, Oregon, and that we were going to go to in May, this past May, but got canceled, and that was going to be in Manhattan, New York. The bottom left one is in Chicago, and the bottom right one is a rotating conference. It's been all over. I think this past year was supposed to be in Madison. It's been at Purdue, Michigan. But these are conference opportunities that I present to students. I will tell you the top left one is about $600 to take a student. When we've taken students to that conference in the past, they've only had to pay like $125 out of pocket. We cover the rest. The National Conference on Race, the one that was in Portland 2 years ago, that was $1,000 per student to go. We were able to find funding to sponsor every student. That is hotel, flight, registration, everything. So these are opportunities that we try to offer students as well too as leadership opportunities. That being said, as always, we're trying to see how we can still do these things virtually. Here are 2 conferences that are coming up this semester. The Wisconsin Leadership Summit, which is October through the 9th. And that is $20 per student to go to. It's all going to be virtual. And then National Student Leadership Diversity Convention is October 17th, virtual. That is $99 per student to go. After the 14th, it goes up. I mean, after the 15th, it goes up to $129. After the 26th of September, it goes up to $149. I have a survey that I will be sending you all as well. If you are interested in going, please notate that, because I told the student mentors yesterday that I will sponsor the students that want to go to these conferences. I just ask if you are going to go that you be present. I don't want to pay for students and then they don't show up. Any questions on any of this? One other thing that we do out of the MRC is we have some funding that we're able to help students. We've helped students with groceries, books, transportation, rent, car repairs, food. When I say food, I've had students who come into the center, and it's heartbreaking when they tell you that they haven't had a meal in the last 24, 48 hours, but they're still trying to survive, maintain, and go to class. So we have food vouchers that we have in the MRC too that we give out to students that they can just go get a meal at the hub and not have to worry about it, and we cover that. But these are also funds that, like I said, we've helped with application fees. This is also an opportunity where I would help with the PTK, the NTHS fees. This gentleman right here is Karina before Karina. He was here 25 years at the college, had a lot of impact with students, but probably even if you had parents that went to WCTC, this is the gentleman here they probably worked with. So there are funds in his name that we're able to tap into. There's a form that you fill out, and we tap into those funds based on the need that you need at hand. Smith Family Fund, this is a local Waukesha family that donated $35,000 to the program to help with students, students of color, LGBT, low income, first generation. Joan Williams, if I go back to the first one here with Manuel Santos, this gentleman here, take a picture of that in your mind. Joan Williams, who's not pictured here, they were at a conference. This is before my time working at WCTC. And the 2 of them were at a conference. Joan Williams never came down. Manuel Santos went up to her room to kind of see if she was going to be coming down soon. And she actually had passed away in her sleep that night at that conference. The college took out an endowment fund in her name. There's funds there. She was super big advocate in helping students be successful. So we also house that fund in our office when students need support. Also, the Gen Ed department a couple years ago put some monies aside as well to be able to help students with meals or things like that. And then a year or 2 ago, I used to donate to these funds myself, and the foundation department said, why don't you start one in your name? I didn't want to. They were kind of advocating, and I said, okay, if I'm going to do it, I'll do it in my family name. So here's a picture of myself, my wife, and my 2 kids, Amaya and Alana. So this is a fund too. It's probably the smaller of the 4 or 5 that we talked about because it's fairly new, but we also have funds in there to help students as well. Just to touch on a little bit, a student mentor, your student mentor, and I just want to go over this really quick, is student mentors are not college tutors. They're not there to do your homework. They are not counselors. They are not academic advisors. They're not myself, Dirt, or Karina. They are there to build a relationship with you, to feel welcome on campus, to support you, and advocate for the resources that are on campus and guide you in the right direction. Now, there are students, mentors that may have some knowledge with maybe a math class that you have or a English class that you're working on, and they feel comfortable helping out, and that's okay. But that's not an expectation that I put on them, because too, if Karina is my mentor and I'm the mentee, and I ask her to help me with my math, and I turn that in and I get an F, who do you think I'm gonna blame? Karina. And that's the stuff that I want to try to avoid. So that being said, we also will provide you with the resources. There is a student enrichment center where there is actual tutors on campus that they're there to help you. And it's like $5 a semester for you to get support services. And I've told students this too. If the $5 is an issue, tell me, I will pay for it for you to get that support. Also, there are professional counselors on campus. This slide right here shows you our professional counselors on campus. This is what they are there for. And what you shared with them, if I were to go knock on the door and say, hey, I heard Karina came and met with you. Can you tell me what she told you about? They can't tell me anything. It is confidential. So never fear that what you share there is going to be shared with myself, other staff, or even your student mentor. We will guide you there and tell you where to go and how to get that support, but none of that information is shared with us. Then there's academic advisors. Academic advisors are the folks that are helping you with your program, course selection. They are there to keep you on track to make sure that you are graduating. We make it mandatory in the program that you meet with them because with anything, things change. And I've seen classes be added to a program or be removed from a program. And the worst thing that I've experienced in my years at WCTC is when a student who was a student mentor in the program thought she was graduating in May, and she found out in May that she wasn't because she forgot to take a class that was later added to her program, but she never checked in with her academic advisor and didn't have a clue about it. And that is heartbreaking because she already had told all her family that she was graduating. So I always tell students, make sure that you're checking in with your academic advisors. Don't try to do it alone. There are folks here to help you with those resources. And then financial aid. Some of you may be able to apply for financial aid. Some of you may not be able to apply for financial aid. One of the things that we do before the start of the semester, like when it's starting, is I will send a list to financial aid. Dur and I have done this and say, okay, these are the students in the program. These are the IDs. Can you tell me where they're at with the financial aid process? And there's 3 things that we get back. 1, they never applied. 2, they applied, but they're missing stuff. Or 3, they're good to go. And the reason we do that is because more often than none, the ones that are good to go, you're on top of it. The ones that haven't applied, 2 reasons is, 1, they can't. So we just want to make sure that that's the case. Or 2, they don't know how. So how do we support them to get them? And so we've sat down with students to do that. And then 3, the students that have applied and are missing stuff, sometimes they don't even know they're missing it. So we are connecting with you and letting you know because we want to make sure you're taking full advantage of the financial aid support services that we have on campus. Now, again, financial aid, students that are on DACA or undocumented students can't apply for financial aid. That being said, though, there are foundation scholarships at the college that everyone and anyone can apply for. And we push the students in the mentoring program to apply for those. We actually help with those. Dur sits on the committee for those scholarships. And that is free money that you don't have to pay back. Those are grants. So we always encourage students to apply for those as well. The last thing that I have for today is, I'm just gonna show you these quick, is there are a few forms that I'm going to need for you to complete. I'll send these to you all via email. So we went over, let me just move this down here. We went over the monthly checkoff, the time management. Here's a FERPA form. Dur, you guys see that? Okay, these are FERPA forms. I'll be sending to you electronically. These forms are PDF fillable, so you can fill them out and then just send it back to us via email. A consent form that I would need you to fill out as well and send back to us. Here's a pairing form that you would complete as well, send back to us. An agreement form. And then I throw this one in here because, like I said, there's probably gonna be some openings. If you know of students that you know that, hey, this is a pretty cool opportunity, why don't you join me in this program, or here's some information. And then they'll probably start asking you 21 questions and you're like, let me refer you to Dur Rolando. Here's also a flyer that talks about the program as well too, that we will send to you. All of this information, like I said, I sent it to the student mentors yesterday. I will be sending it to you. Let me just show you what this email is going to look like so you can have an idea.
Yolanda, can you share with them when you would like these forms back?
Yes. So this is not the one. Give me a second here. Just be a minute, and then we can open it up for clarification or questions as well too. Here is the email that I sent to student mentors yesterday. So you'll see I attach all the forms here. And the first question I say, and I'll say this to you guys too, is if you're having second thoughts about being a student mentor, or in your case, a student mentee, after today's training, please let me know. I will not have hard feelings. Out of respect, let us know so that we know where we stand and where we need to move on to. And then all of these things here, make sure that you complete these forms and email them back to mrc@wctc.edu by Sunday, which is this Sunday, midnight. The other thing that I'm going to ask you to do, is that I asked them to do as well, is that we ask that you include a headshot picture, right now, like your headshot of your Zoom here, that is appropriate, that you don't mind going on a PowerPoint, because that is how we start pairing people up, and we also show it to staff to put a name with a face. If we don't get one from you, guess what we use? Your student ID picture. Some of you may say, that's the best picture I've ever taken. Some of you are like, that is the worst picture I've ever taken. So just keep in mind, if we don't get one, we will use your student ID. Also, here are the links to the conferences. You just click on them. If you want to go, you would type in your information. Here's a link to the book. We did a poll for the book because I would like to know your preference. If you would like a hard copy, electronic copy, or a audio. And when I say electronic copy, it's a link, and the book is right there digitally on your computer, your phone, your iPad, or whatever it is that you have. Audio is one that you listen to, and a hard copy is actual physical book. And then I'm gonna have you take this poll as well. MSMP pairing mentee meeting date, excuse me, is a date that I'm trying to book next week, where I can get all the student mentees and student mentors to come together. But I'm trying to figure out what day and time works best for the majority, because I know school starts next week. So if you can take that one as well, like I said, I'll be sending this all out to you guys today. So that is what I have. I know it's a lot of information very quick. Obviously, I'm trying to be conscious of your guys' time, our time. It is 12 o'clock on the dot, which is great because we started late with all the issues we were having this morning. Also with this, I will upload this to Google Docs and then share the link to this video, this recording today. So you'll have access to that as well too. So if you want to go back and look at some stuff, and then we use it too for new people that are coming in. The floor is yours.
I have a question.
Time for questions.
I got a question.
Yes.
Is all the paperwork, are you able to fill it in?
Yes. Everything that we're doing this semester, we are trying to do paperless and trying to do it all where you can just fill it out and send it back to us via email. So Leslie, one of our student workers, created all of them PDF fillables.
Okay.
I'm sorry. So for the forms, do we have to send it back through our WCTC email, or can we use our personal email?
It's up to you guys. Obviously, WCTC email makes it easier for us, but I will ask you this. When you do send all that stuff back, include your full name and your ID, just so in case an email comes back and we're like, okay, who's this? And then with those forms, it only has to be one email. You can include all those forms you completed, and your picture as well too can be in that same email.
Thanks.
Other questions? There's not a dumb question. I'll tell you that right now, because if you're thinking about it, I guarantee you somebody else is thinking about it. So don't be afraid. Like I said, that this is a learning opportunity, open for discussion opportunity. If you don't feel comfortable saying it out loud, put it in the chat and somebody can read it for you.
I know I came in late, but are we, the way we're getting with our mentors, are we just getting matched up with them?
So if you came in late, we'll be sharing the link so you can watch from the beginning of the video to where it is now. And then I would say if you missed a lot, probably schedule an appointment with me as well early next week, because one thing that I found out with Zoom late last night, and I checked it with the student mentors, I can actually check the status of, so if Dur was with us today and say Dur got on and she was only literally on for this Zoom meeting 5 minutes, when I run that report, it will show Dur was only on the Zoom meeting for 5 minutes. So for me, I'm looking at that too, because that tells me that she didn't even get any of the content that I said. Kind of talked about that earlier in the sense of pairing. Next week is I'm trying to schedule a meeting where all student mentors and student mentees come together that officially are going to be moving forward, that are still fully committed, and have like a little icebreaker for folks to kind of get to know. So what I'll ask at that meeting is the student mentors to share who they are, what program they are, what do they like to do. I'll ask the same of you, and kind of see if there's any connections that are made just naturally. And if not, what Dur and I will do, we'll start pairing people up that we think will kind of mesh well together. So that would be a meeting probably for next week. I'm assuming that meeting will probably be an hour. I think we can get it done in an hour, because we're not going to go over all this jargon that I just went over now. It's more about just getting people paired up. Then I have training with staff mentors August 26th, where I meet with all the staff mentors and I have to do training with them as well. So did I answer the question? Did I miss something?
No, that was great. Thank you.
Other questions?
Wait, I have a question.
See.
So in the beginning, well, like earlier you said that you actually like can check the status for financial aid. So I was like, do we have to schedule a meeting with you for you to do that, or we can just come in, or how?
Okay, let me see. Natalia. Can I just give a synopsis of kind of how everything went down yesterday? Do you mind?
Me?
Yeah. You mind if I just give a rundown real quick of like how it?
Yeah.
Okay. So, and this is what I want to share with you guys, because it's not about what you know sometimes, it's about who you know, and who's gonna vouch for you and who's gonna look out for you. And I'll speak for the three of us that are here, Dur, myself, and Karina. If you need help, reach out to me, because I always tell students, I don't know if you don't say anything. I got 2 kids. I got 2 girls, 10 and 8. You think by now I have them figured out. I don't have them figured out for the life of me. So it's always, I'm learning as a dad, I'm learning as a staff person, as an employee. So what I mean by that, Litzy, to answer that question is, yesterday Natalia reached out to me, and she wants to start in the fall, but there was a lot of things still missing. And I'll give it about, in 2 hours or so, we got everything squared away. But it's because she reached out to me. So then I reached out to financial aid. Then I reached out to testing. Then I reached out to the NSO coordinator. Then I reached out to her academic advisor. Everything got squared away. But I will tell you this, if she tried to do that by herself, she would still probably be at it right now. Because the difference is that myself, Dur, and Karina know who to connect with. And we have the ability to do IM messaging. And I'm gonna just be frank. Like, if another staff member is asking another staff member, they're probably gonna answer quickly, because we all have a priority. It's student first mentality. And so if you are in that situation, or you are having issues with some stuff right now that still need to get squared away before next week, let us know, because you can either put it on my calendar, you can put it on Dur's calendar, you can put it on Karina's calendar. And I may not have all the answers, Dur may not have all the answers, Karina, but I will tell you that. But give me a few minutes or a few hours to figure it out, and I'll find them. And that's what we did with Natalia yesterday. I was like, look, I have everything I need. Give me an hour or so. Let me get back to you. And I got to connect with these individuals. So never feel that you're alone. That is what we do in the MRC. Like I said, in part of this program, but that's the other piece that we do too, the component of making sure that you have what you need to be successful. Does that answer the question, Lizzie?
Yeah, but do I so I could just email you with any concern and then you would let me know?
See, and then what I'm gonna do, and I'll ask Dur to do the same thing. I'll see if this works here. In the chat, let's see if this works. It's not gonna let me work. Let me try something here. Okay, let's see if this works. If not, I'll include it in my email too, but
you're gonna put Calendly on it?
yeah, if you click on that link, so these are two things that, you know, there's stress that came out of the whole COVID 8 weeks, but I will tell you two things that really came out of this semester that we are gonna continue to use moving forward, even if we go back face to face. Two things was, one, Zoom, the ability for students to meet with us on their time and not have to come to campus. We will always, from my standpoint, are always gonna use that. And then Calendly, what I just sent in the link, if you click on that, you have access to my calendar. You pick the date and time that works best for you to meet with me. That link is up to date with my information. So in the past, if Lizzie wanted to meet with me, she would have to stop in the MRC or call the MRC. And then she'd be like, could I meet with Rolando today at 2? And they'd be like, you know what, he's out of the office. Could I meet with him on Monday? Nope, he's not back yet. And then as a student, you get frustrated because you're like, dang, when's he coming back? So with the Calendly, you click on it, it shows you the dates and times that I have available. You make the appointment and it automatically goes on my calendar. And it sends you a Zoom link and it sends me a Zoom link. So the day of that meeting, we're connecting via Zoom.
You will also see in the chat box, Karina and my Calendly as well.
So, yep, Dur just shared hers and Karina just shared hers as well. Does that help? Does that clarify that confusion, or did you even know you guys had that capability?
Yeah. That helps.
Other questions? Again, no silly questions. Everybody knows school starts Monday?
I do have a question. I was just wondering, you mentioned reading material, and I was just wondering what some examples would be of stuff that you've read in the past, because I was just wondering, what type of stuff we read.
So last semester,
You did Make Your Bed?
we did a smaller book. This was, let me see if I can't get it to show. It was called Make Your Bed. It was called Little Things That Can Change Your Life and Maybe the World. And it was from a retired Navy SEAL who talked about just starting up in the morning, just making your bed the first thing in the morning. And then it talked about all these other little things. So we did that. We've done a financial literacy book. It was a teacher who, I can't remember the name of the book, but it was a teacher who became a millionaire and shared his secrets and his tips. Because I always tell students, I'm 40 now. Luckily, I'm in a good position because when I was in college in Whitewater, there's not many jobs in Whitewater. So I worked at a collection agency. I saw a lot of students that were in debt. And I at that moment, I was like, I never want to be in that situation. So I've always had good credit score. Now I own our house. I have a rental property. So we're kind of in a good, that's all because of money management, credit score. So I try to empower you guys as well to know that stuff and how to, if you start early, you'll wind up doing better than us as it's all about starting early. So we've done that. We've also done a book on mentoring, just the power of mentoring. But this time the book that we're doing is The New Jim Crow. Is a book that a lot of colleges in the 16 districts are reading, and it's got to do with kind of like where our society is mentally right now.
Perfect, thank you.
And in videos, we do TED Talks. We also do, if you guys ever watch John Quinones, like What Would You Do videos? Like we watch it and then you kind of have a discussion and then people just kind of share like, okay, some people share, hey, that's happened to me and this is what went down. or if that were to happen to me, this is what I would do. So those are some of the things too that we're other questions?
I have a question in regards of like the events you guys have, because you know how SGA like does some events where like I was just wondering if they correlate with the ones that you guys have too.
Yeah, so just to give you a synopsis, so until this year, we were under student development, which is where SGA falls under. The SGA is like a student org, falls under student development. Then you had the Multicultural Resource Center, the Multicultural Student Union, which is a student org out of the MRC, falls under the MRC. Is the difference between what SGA does? SGA will do a lot of fun stuff, bingo, activities, you know, spring fling. What we typically do out of the MRC are more educational diversity stuff. So for instance, I'm in contract talks right now with Jesus Avila. We saw him last February in the conference in Chicago. And his title of his presentation is The Trouble with My Name, how his name has been butchered his entire life. The presentation is about an hour-long presentation. It's going to be all virtual. And that presentation and that event is for Hispanic Heritage Month, which is in September. So then in October, we'll do something for LGBT Month. November, we'll do something for Native American Heritage Month. So we're always doing something that's focused on that month. In December, it's kind of more like a mentoring awareness month. So we usually bring in some speakers. We're in charge of I don't know if you've been part of or heard of, we're in charge of the Martin Luther King event on our campus, which has brought in over 500 people to campus when we were physically on campus. And we've brought in speakers. We're also in charge of the annual Cesar Chavez event, which has brought in like 300 people to campus. We do Black History Month. We do Women's History Month. So we try to focus on cultural events. And our events are also, I don't know how it's going to work out virtually, but at one time we had a punch card as well, along with SGA. If you attended our stuff, it would count as well. But if you're interested in any of that stuff, there is another piece of the puzzle of the MRC, which is called the Multicultural Student Union, which is a student org that focuses on issues at hand. Those students, it's student focus led. Myself and Dur and Karina have been actively with that student club as advisors, but they have done student panels where they speak to staff on what works, challenges, struggles as students of color, minority students, female students, first generation, like challenges and struggles they have in the classroom, or if they had a positive impact in the classroom, they share those. They just spoke to all new staff that started at WCTC about a few weeks ago. So they get invited to those things as well. So that club, that student org is looked on and is invited to things when it's related to a diverse population. They're looking for that club to have a voice on campus. So that's also an opportunity for you guys to be part of that as well. You'll find, I don't know, there's a handful of student mentors that are board members for that club, and there's board seats available right now for that club as well. Other questions?
So I know that there's one thing that I do know about the SGA stamps, like what we're planning on doing with them now.
Yeah.
Is we're gonna start having somebody who's running like the Zoom meeting start doing attendance if
There
it's
you
gonna be an event.
Yeah.
And then just writing down names, coming back to it.
And that's probably what we'll wind up doing too. Now that I know that we can track who's here and whatnot, it will probably take attendance that way. In regards to was it Nadia that asked the question too? It now is a Multicultural Student Union. One time it was Asian Student Org, Latino Student Org, Black Student Org, LGBT, which was SAFE. There were 4 different clubs, and they've come together and united and created one, which is the Multicultural Student Union. But in their mission and vision, they made it a focus to make sure that there's 3 seats from each of those representations at the board table, because they didn't want to lose that impact. But they came together because they felt like they were doing so many kind of silo, and they wanted to come together to help each other out and work together and be stronger. Other questions? I know it's Friday. A lot of you are probably thinking for the weekend. If there is no last minute burning questions, then can you send the links to? Yes. So what I am going to do is how you applied for the application, I pull those emails. And if you have 2 listed, I'll pull your school and your personal email and just send it. Because sometimes, for some reason, some emails get bounced back. My goal is to send that out today. If you don't see something, let me know. But I'll be sending those to you. But if there's no more burning questions, I think that's all I have, unless someone has a last minute question.
So I have a last minute question.
Yeah.
So I know you put your schedule on the text on the chat box. So I scheduled a meeting with you. Is it possible that they can be like face to face on the days that you come into the campus?
It can be. If it is, just let me know. Like I'm there Mondays and Tuesdays. So if it is a Monday, Tuesday, just that's fine too. I would just say, obviously with ours too, we just have to, there's precautions in the sense, know that when you guys come to campus, you have to have your mask on and et cetera, et cetera. But we could do face-to-face too.
Okay.
Yeah. Any other last minute questions? Well, it was great to see you all. Great to meet you. I'll be sending out that email today. Again, like I said, if you decide this is not for you, I got no hard feelings. I'd rather have you be honest and let us know so we can move forward. Also, have someone else that you're like thinking that this could be great for this person, share that information with us. And I would also say that you just kind of put a bug in their ear. So if I'm reaching out to them, or if they're not thinking that we're stalking them, or creepy staff members. And so just know that we are available. Class start on Monday. So we've been going at this. This has been our new norm since March. So, and unfortunately today, like I said this morning, we had issues with, it seemed like it was more on my end with the internet and the campus trying to log onto the portal. This is probably the time in this since March that I've had these issues, and it seems to come at the worst time. So I do apologize for that and your patience in regards to that. Have a great weekend. Like I said, any questions, always feel free to reach out to us.
Nice to meet you guys. Have a great weekend. Stay safe.
Have a great weekend.